Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. What do you think of when I say the beach? Maybe swimming, antique stores, crabbing, surfing? Sorry, those are all wrong answers. The right answer is hiking. The Knoll and Thumb Loop hike is a lollipop loop that takes you to two different great lookouts of the ocean in Lincoln City. On this route, you'll go almost 5 miles and climb around 1,200 feet. You'll start out at less than 100 feet elevation at the trailhead and reach the highest point a little over 600 feet elevation on the ridge you travel between the Knoll and Thumb. The trailhead for this hike is conveniently located in Lincoln City, Oregon, at the north end of town. It is so convenient, in fact, that you should probably just swing by and do this 5 miles every time you pass through Lincoln City now that you know about it. Just turn north on Northeast Devil's Lake Boulevard from Highway 101 and follow it until it dead ends. Check the video description for exact coordinates of the trailhead location if you want to plug them into your favorite Maps app to get directions. Let's go over a couple things you might want to consider bringing for this hike, in addition to whatever you normally gear up with. First, a wind or rain jacket will be nice most of the time, unless you actually hit this one on a rare summer day where it's actually hot on the Oregon coast. The two destinations on this one you will want to hang out at for a bit are exposed and typically windy. Also, this might be a good one to bring some binoculars along for to zoom in on some ocean coves, cliffs, or even Lincoln City itself from the viewpoints. To get going on this hike from the circular dead-end parking area, head back up just a little towards the road you came in on and find the trail off the right that takes off from this single parking spot. You'll follow it for a short stretch where you are briefly plunged into ancient coastal forest. You abruptly prop out again as you cross a bridge and join up with a gravel road that goes through a residential area. Turn right on this gravel road, going uphill. Eventually, you'll see another small dead-end parking area marked for Knoll parking. Continue on through the dead end up the trail, taking the fork to the right after the trail starts. There isn't a ton of elevation to cover on this hike, but it is mostly steep when you do cover it, and it gets kicked off good here. You get your calves burning a bit as you make this short ascent up to the knoll. Once things level out, you come to this junction and follow the trail off to the grassy area to the left. This is a short spur trail that takes you to the knoll. Head down it and find a spot to relax, finishing up the first section of this hike. When you're ready to continue, head back to that junction at the top of the hill and go the other way, marked by the small sign telling you that you're entering a part of the trail that is on private lands. Get ready for a bit more climbing as you head to the next junction up the highest point of this hike. You'll pass through a nice part of the forest with neat corridors and huge old trees that have moss-covered branch stubs. Eventually you'll reach a junction where you turn left to head towards the thumb. The other direction leads down the trail we will exit on. Going left, you'll descend down quite a bit and eventually break out into an exposed meadow area before you climb the last hill before reaching the thumb. You get a nice view of the thumb and most of the trail that takes you up to the top of it from here. It doesn't look much like a thumb to me, but hey, I guess it's hard to come up with names for stuff. Head on down the trail and respect the precipitous cliff off to the right side of the trail. It's a pretty steep climb up the thumb after that ridge, but a fairly short one. So scramble up there and enjoy the view. Remember to be careful on that ridge and head back the way you came when you're ready. Make your way back to that last junction at the highest point on the trail and head off to the left. You'll descend a steep hill and soon find yourself in a different kind of forest with less conifers. You'll find this a relaxing, meditative section as you make your way back on the other side of this loop. The tall trees along this trail sway and make mesmerizing noises as you loop your way back around on this wide, easy section of the trail. Looking at trail maps, it may appear there are a couple of branches or places to turn on this last stretch of the trail, but in reality you just follow this main well-defined trail the whole way back and you don't actually feel as if you've made any deliberate turns. Not long after you pass an oddly placed sewer access, you'll emerge back at the rounded dead-end parking area. Alright, let's go over the ratings for this trail. First, let's talk about the terrain. Most of this trail is very wide and free from challenges. However, the short path of trail heading up to and ascending the thumb gives you some awkward, eroded, steep trail to deal with, as well as the falling danger to be careful about. So it gets 3 rocks out of 5 for terrain. In terms of elements, this hike being at the beach and being exposed at points is mild, but still something to consider. 2 clouds out of 5 for elements. At almost 5 miles, this hike gets 2 boots for distance. And finally, let's rate the climb. There is a fair amount of elevation for this hike, and when you do climb, it is quite steep, so you might feel it. I'll give it 3 mountains out of 5. Well, that's it for this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I hope I have or will soon help you pick your next trail to explore. I scouted this trail in July of 2021, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any new features or changes people might like to know about, please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. This video shows some of the beautiful sights of this trail in what feeble capacity it can render. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all of your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or video. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.